weighing whether they could keep former President Trump off the ballot because of what happened on January 6th. And here the Supreme Court, the highest court in the state of Colorado, ruling that he should be disqualified. He should be kept off the ballot.
The basic principle that we, the people, select our leadership, not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States. That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw. I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing.
What's happening, people? Buzz here. So big news that just came out. Breaking. Trump has been disqualified in the Colorado election. They have essentially taken him off the ballot until January 4th. Once it's appealed by the Supreme Court, we all knew this was going to happen. This is no surprise. They were trying, scratching and clawing these woke liberal activists, pushing these lawsuits to these woke activist judges around the whole country. We knew this was going to happen. We just wondered when it was going to happen, right? Take a look at this. Trump disqualified from Colorado's 2024 primary ballot by state Supreme Court. In a historic decision Tuesday in Colorado Supreme Court barred Donald Trump from running in the state's presidential primary after determining that he engaged in an insurrection on January 6, 2021. The 4-3 ruling marked the first time a court has kept the presidential candidate off the ballot under the 1868 provision of the Constitution that prevents insurrectionists from holding office. The ruling comes as court considers similar cases in other states. So they're holding on to this January 6th insurrection thing, whether you believe it was not or what it is an insurrection. That's what they're hoping and praying that it sticks. They're trying to throw anything that can stick to the wall, and this January 6th insurrection is what they're throwing at this.
Weighing whether they could keep former President Trump off the ballot because of what happened on January 6th. And here the Supreme Court, the highest court in the state of Colorado, ruling that he should be disqualified. He should be kept off the ballot. But Wolf, they're going to stay or pause this decision until January 4th to allow the former president or anyone else to appeal to the Supreme Court on this question.
Very significant indeed. I want to bring in the rest of our team right now. Ellie Honig, how stunning is this decision?
Well, Wolf, this is a historic decision. It's a momentous decision. As the Supreme Court itself says, they are in uncharted territory here, but it's really important to keep in mind, this is not the last word here. This is almost certainly going up to the U.S. Supreme Court, which can review the decisions of a state Supreme Court. In fact, the Colorado Supreme Court anticipates that possibility, and for that reason, they put their own ruling on hold until January 4th, anticipating that it will go up to the Supreme Court. The practical consequence as it stands at this moment, though, is that Donald Trump will not be on the Colorado ballot in the race for president in 2024. The Supreme Court almost certainly will take this up. It's also important to keep in mind, for the broader context, there have been dozens of these challenges filed across the country, and 18 or so of them have either failed, been rejected, or been withdrawn by the plaintiff. So this is really an outlier. The Supreme Court is going to have the final say. The consequences here are, of course, enormous.
Norm Eisen, are you surprised by this decision?
Well, Wolf, the law and the politics have collided. And in this instance, law has won. There's a logic to the decision. The 14th Amendment provides that insurrectionists may not hold office. The lower court found that Donald Trump had engaged in insurrectionist activity. That's consonant with what the January 6th committee found. And so the only question was, legally, did this apply to a president? The Supreme Court said it did. I think because of the earth-shaking nature of the holding, we thought that politics might militate against it, but the courts, as they should do, have put on blinkers and applied the Constitution. Now it'll be up to the Supreme Court to have the final word.
Yeah, the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution says, and I'm quoting now, "No person shall hold any office who, having previously taken an oath to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof." pretty significant 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. David, this has never happened before. Earlier challenges to get Trump removed from state ballots for the presidency have failed. What does it mean politically for Trump to be removed potentially from the Republican primary ballot in Colorado?
Yeah, Wolf, I think we're going to go.
Wow. Wow, absolutely crazy, people. This should worry you guys, because if it can happen to Trump, it can happen to anyone in the future. If you like a candidate and next you know he does something that the ruling class elite doesn't like, they can take them off the ballot. So, and they're going to appeal this in January. Hopefully it doesn't stick and he can go on the ballot, and democracy in this republic can stand. We can, they can vote for this individual or any individual. If they can get on the ballot without actually causing a real insurrection, whether you believe January 6th was or wasn't, regardless of all the thousands, tens of thousands of hours of footage of the Capitol Police letting them peacefully walk around and them doing stuff. There were some individuals that were agitators there. I can't deny that. We can't deny that. But some of them were FBI informants, more than likely. More than likely, people. We all know this. We've seen the depositions, on C-SPAN, etc., and all the questions that were left unasked and unanswered, so followed, right? Now here's Vivek Ramaswamy pledging to take himself off the Colorado ballot and pledging to ask, Nikki Haley and Chris Christie DeSantis to follow suit. Watch.
They have just tried to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional maneuver that is a bastardization of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed to bar Confederate members, people who switched to the Confederacy, from actually being able to serve. That's very different than what's at issue here, to say the least. This is a hollowed out husk of what the country was built on. The basic principle that we, the people, select our leadership, not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States. That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw. I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing, or else these Republicans are simply complicit in this unconstitutional attack on the way we conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong, and I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake, whether we, the people, actually have a say in deciding who leads this country. Yes, it would be easier for other Republicans like me who are running in this race to say, hey, if Trump is sidelined, there's our opportunity. No doubt other candidates are probably privately celebrating with their corporate sponsors. That's not the right thing to do. I think the most useful thing that every GOP candidate can do right now is to join me in that pledge. I'll say that I will withdraw from that Colorado GOP primary ballot until Trump's name is restored. This belongs to the people, not to the unelected Democratic cabal of judges in Colorado or any other state. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie do the same thing, or else they're complicit in what this security state is trying to do to shut down Trump. I stand by that, and I expect them to do the right thing.
Wow. Vivek Ramaswamy. If Trump, gets taken off every ballot across the country, because let's face it, every other state is going to follow suit with these woke liberal lawsuits, and every Supreme Court in these states are going to have a vote on it, just like the Colorado State Supreme Court did, and it's going to have to be appealed. Now, Supreme Court's going to, go through that and judge whether or not if Trump's going to be voted across the board, probably. Hopefully that's not the case, because Trump's team's going to, appeal this. Now, if Trump is taken off the ballot and null and void, I'm for sure 100% going to vote for Vivek, because this guy's a man for saying this and saying what he's been saying. I mean, we've seen him on these debates, slam dunking on, Nikki Haley, calling her a commie, and Chris Christie, DeSantis, etc. This guy knows what's up, guys. And if Trump's taken off, this is the guy I'm probably going to be voting for. Let me know what you think in the comments, people. Like, comment, subscribe to Buzz Review. See you on the next one.